So, I asked for if anybody wanted to ask any questions or if they wanted to know anything about the album, what questions would they have, and that they can post it on Facebook. And just getting it quickly here on my phone so I can give you all the answers. So this is going to be like an interview, I suppose. So I'm just going to look up the questions quickly and take them one by one. There's a few people who asked several questions each, but that's fine. I'll get that to you. Let's see. Okay, first question. Interesting. Which is my favorite song so far? Oh, I have a few favorites for a few different reasons. But I'd say I really like Coochie. I have Scottish ancestors, and it is a special subject for me, the Coochie, the fairy dog. It is a death omen on the moors of Scotland. And it is said to be the size of a small horse and to be pitch black, and you catch it on the moors. It's a death omen, so when you see it, some people say when you see it you're definitely going to die. Other people say that if you see it, just stand still and it'll go away. There are several different legends about it, but bottom line is, it's my favorite song to perform. It's my favorite song so far. I think because I'm a drummer as well, I love the drum vocal combination and the power that comes from it. And of course, because I love ghost stories. I mean, I'm a horror writer predominantly, so I love the ghost story element about it. And the song takes a lot of breath. It takes a lot of exertion, and it's a challenge. But in the end, it's my favorite song to do live because it has so much power. It has so much punch to it that I really love. And it's very simple. It's a very simple song. To me, those are the best songs, usually. Your basic 3-chord songs are usually the best. Keep it simple, because that's where the groove lies, you know? But, yeah, Coochie would be my favorite, the Black Angus. I very much love Blue Drunk because of its pace. It's very Hammerfall, Man-O-War, kind of old-school power metal. And, of course, the Viking thing to it. And I think those are my two favorites so far. I've written a few new songs I'm not going to say anything about just yet. So I'll keep quiet about those. But those two that I mentioned are so far my favorites to perform live and to listen to. Particular sound that I went for with the ASATRU EP. Yes, I wanted Wasp mixed with Judas Priest. They're two of my old favorites, my fathers, who made me, who molded my metalheadness. I absolutely worship Judas Priest. I think Rob Halford is the shit. And he really is the metal god. And I wanted that sound. I wanted that, not too polished though. I don't like the polish too much, but the riffage of it, the sound of the guitars, that immense guitar sound, combined with the high vocals, has always been a favorite of mine. That's why I love Man-O-War. That's why I love all kinds of bands like that who have that sound, that old school power metal sound. I went for a Wasp sound as well, or asked for it, because Blackie Lawless is one of the most underrated vocalists out there ever. And I wanted that majestic, full almost like a fantasy feel to it, that you're listening to music. This isn't a bunch of guys who walked in with their Bermuda shorts and their high tops, and now they're jamming on guitars in a garage. That's not what I wanted. I want people to hear my music and go somewhere. You know, like Demons and Wizards does to me, and Tour does to me. All these bands that take you somewhere. You know, somewhere ancient and somewhere powerful, where the gods were cruel and the people were mean, and you had to be strong as a person and physically to survive in that world. That's where Wasp and Judas Priest and Tour take me when I listen to their music, and it's all in the production. It's all in that sound, that specific sound, that typical heavy metal sound. Because bottom line is that is what LadyAxe is about. It's power metal in its purest sense, and well, that's the sound that I went for. So we'll see by the end of production. Maybe some songs I'll tweak into something else, but predominantly that's what I was looking for. If you could have any producer work with you, Peter Todgren. Yeah, I would kill to work with Peter Todgren. Why? He's brilliant. He's a musical genius, in my opinion, not just as a musician, but because he's a musician. He also sees that side of things. His arrangements are excellent. His ideas are excellent. And he's very professional. His sound is amazing. It's very full. It's once again, it's that majestic, full sound that you listen to something over and over, and every time you hear something new. And I think if I could choose anybody, it would be Peter Todgren as a producer. Yeah. What else do we have here? Are there stories behind this song? I love that. There are many stories behind these songs. I've written a new song now about my favorite Norse goddess, who is Ran, goddess of the sea that drowns men on ships. Oh, it's awesome. She's always been my favorite, but always been very underrated, so I dedicated a song to her. I look forward to giving you that one too. Who was my first musical influence when I was growing up? I'll write you a book. Okay? There's so many bands, but the first that comes to mind, and still is to this day my all-time favorite band, not just metal, or not metal, but all-time favorite band, that would be Creedence Clearwater Revival. Yeah. I love Creedence. I think John Fogerty is awesome. He's one of the best ever. He's legendary. I grew up on Creedence. I grew up on Johnny Cash. And then I sort of grew up on, you know, ABBA and Krista Berg and, you know, those normal bands. But CCR, I'd say, was my biggest. They made me want to sing. They made me want to be a musician, a real musician, someone who could make music out of anything. That would be CCR, yeah, and Queen. Queen. That was the first album I ever bought, was Queen. And need I say more? Queen, really? I think you can all do the math on that. I think everybody agrees with me. There are very few people who could disagree that Queen is probably one of the best bands that ever came out. Who else? What else is there? Do you feel that as a woman in essay there are subjects you cannot write about? No. First of all, because I don't give a shit. I will write whatever I please. The only thing in South Africa that you have to feel guilty about is the whole racist thing, the whole apartheid thing, and it's so fucking old by now, really. I mean, turn the page already. There were so many cultures of all colors all throughout history who suffered slavery and who suffered segregation and everything. It's getting really old. So I don't believe in censorship. I don't believe in anyone or any political climate dictating my art. No fucking way. If you got a problem with it, try to deal with it. I, as a woman, and I, as a South African, will write about anything I damn well please. And I will not be censored. And lucky for me, there are so many like-minded people these days that I don't have to give a shit. Okay? So, no. I don't feel restricted at all. I write what I want. And, well, mostly it's Norse mythology anyway. That's my thing. Norse mythology, and I have a side project that I'm not going to talk about too much just yet, which does this southern doom, hoodoo, voodoo kind of music, because I love that too. So I'm going to do that. Yeah, that's the two things I love to write about predominantly. So I'm not going to, even if I wrote about any other subjects, political or social or any of that, I never see any restrictions. I see challenges. I'm not afraid of anything. I'm not afraid of anybody. So if you don't like it, hey, fuck off, you know? It's that simple. So, no, Nita, there are no subjects I cannot write about. Just so you know. Okay, Jojo, let's see. Oh, thank you for the compliment. That's really sweet. I know you think that. That's awesome. Thank you. I sang for the first time a song called She's a Woman in the 70s. I don't know who does the song, but it's a song I sang a lot when I was little. I was like 3 years old, something ridiculous. And my parents realized that I could carry a tune. And my mom says, I used to fall asleep, sing myself to sleep in front of the radio. I'd lie in front of the speakers on the floor, on the carpet, and just sing and sing. And eventually I'd sing softer and softer, and I would just doze off. So I've always been a singer. And my parents told me that the first time I sang in front of people was at a wedding. And the people asked me up on stage, and because I was supposed to sing them some little song or something, but I refused to go and sing for the people unless they paid me. That's what my mom tells me. They had to take a hat around and collect money before I would sing. I think that's bullshit. I don't remember that anyway, but that was the first time that people realized, my family realized, that I could sing. And it's always been the worst thing for me, because my mother always built me up so much to people that it puts a lot of pressure on me. Even now, today, even with karaoke, she builds me up so much that I feel like, what if people are disappointed? What if they expect this and they only get that? You know? So they found out at a very young age that I could sing. But I think they made too big a deal. They still make too big a deal about it, because I don't have any vocal training whatsoever. I'm winging it. So I'm very glad you think it's amazing, though. I'll take that. There's another question you asked me about the choir. We have choirs in school. It's a big thing, actually, around here. We had choirs in all 14 schools that I went to. Don't ask. And I never sang in a choir. It's not an ego thing that I had to be a lead singer. It's just that I never liked it. I never liked singing with a bunch of other kids. I didn't like the songs that they used to sing. It wasn't my thing. I didn't want to do that. I just didn't want to do choir. So no, I never did. I did outside things like talent competitions or singing at the local hotel on a Sunday. That was more my thing. I was never in choirs, but they did offer it here. They still have it. They have school choirs and overseas, people that go overseas, professionally. So I just never wanted. It's just never been my thing. No, but they do offer it here. Let me see what else is there. Do you sometimes feel that you're keeping a cultural heritage alive single-handedly, or is it a community thing? I don't know what to make of that question. I keep my cultural heritage alive because I'm proud of it. End of story. Whether it be in music or painting or writing, or I keep it alive because I revere it. It's my ancestry. Northern Scotland and some parts of France and Germanic, Saxon, Vikings. Germanic. It's who I am. So I don't keep it alive for any reason, for any community. I don't keep it alive for anyone in particular, just myself. I sing about it because I love it. And I'm sure there are ASATRU in South Africa, but I'm not in contact with them. I'm sure there are communities of heathens, especially the Germanic Nordic people here. Whatever the hell they're doing here, I don't know, because if I could go north, I would. So I'm keeping it alive. Not single-handedly, I'm sure, but as a musician in South Africa, as far as I know, I am alone in my quest. I am alone in my reverence for heathenism on a musical basis. I'm sure there are a lot of bands who sing about Vikings. I haven't heard any of them yet. But no, I don't feel like I'm single-handedly trying to perpetuate it. It's here permanently, no matter where I go. So I hope that answers your question. I mean, that's the best way I can convey it to you. To them, it's a community thing. To me, it might be single-handedly. I don't know. It's pretty much the same thing to me. So it's in you. That's it. I've got a funny question here. If you could create an all-girl Viking metal band, who would you want to be in it? Really? I might step on a few toes here. My daughter, Anushka. I think she would be like Largasa Lothbrok, I put her on guitar. She fits the bill. Shit, let me think. Who else would I'm not sure, is it musicians or just any girls? I would like Xena in my band. As Xena, with all her war cries and shit, and her clothes. That would be awesome. Yeah, I'd put Xena on drums. No, on bass, so people can see her. She's too gorgeous to miss. Yeah. Okay, my daughter and Xena. And just for shits and giggles, Melissa McCarthy on drums. Melissa McCarthy on drums. I just love her attitude. She'd make a perfect berserker. Perfect. Because she's insane. And she doesn't care. Yeah, I would use her. And how big is this band? Average band. Let me think. Here's one more. There are so many women I would pick, though. Damn. I can't even think. Who else? There's too many to choose from. Because I've got my own friends could fill up bands. That's a tough one. I know. My only girl crush, Michelle Rodriguez. Yeah. I put her on guitar. She would shred, man. She would be aces in a band, in a Viking metal band. Michelle Rodriguez. Yeah. I think that would make up my girl band. It's quite chaotic if I think about it. Those bunch of bitches together. We could go pillaging for a long time. Yeah, lock up your sons. Those are the girls I would choose. Interesting question, Brian, really. I'm just checking if there's anything else that I missed. Nope, I don't think so. If I missed anything, I'm terribly sorry. And then I'll put it in the next episode. But for now, let's see. Got that one, got that one, got that one, that one. No, I think we're good. I think I've covered them. So, thank you for the interview, people. It was very nice. Do it again by all means. If you like talking about this stuff and you have questions and whatever questions or remarks, just post them down there. And I'll answer them in the next episode, whatever you want to ask. Or you can inbox me, that's fine. I'll just collect them all and I'll put them in another Q&A sort of thingy. And that's it. Hope that answered your questions. See you again.